All right. Greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected and all the viewers are smarter than the average bear. Hope you all can hear me okay. If you cannot hear me, let me know. All right. Cool. Bunch of people rolling in, all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Thanks to everybody that came through the book reading yesterday. I did get a coffee from Bella. Thank you, Bella. I appreciate that. Great sound. Okay. Staying cool, not hardly. I'm wiped out today. It's another hot one today. Tomorrow's supposed to be 99, and it's supposed to be in the 90s for the next 7 days at least, or something like that. So it's just gonna grind on for a while. Yeah, I'm kind of burnt out from the heat. Anyways, in the story yesterday, there was a chapter about how people spin. If somebody has a lot of spin or not. Do you guys like that analogy? Max RJ, same here. 100? Yeah. 100 degrees. Running my AC isn't a sin? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not there yet. I'm just not at the point where I'm like if I can't sleep, because it's so hot, I might run it. But spin equals lies. If I can't sleep, I might run it. But I'm just not. I'm not at the point where I can't sleep. I don't know. I mean, it's the problem with the heat is that over time it just zaps you, right? And you know this. It's like I don't really mind the heat. It's just that all day long, it being just kind of grindingly hot. At the end of the day, you're like, oh wow, I am absolutely, I'm absolutely wilting. So yeah, it's cool at night, Bulla. Yeah, it cools down. That's why. Yeah, the night's fine, and the mornings are really great. You get up in the morning and it's still kind of cool. And might be a little bit of a breeze, and the mornings are downright beautiful. It's just not too humid. It's not too humid. It's just that around noon it just really starts kicking in, and then it just kicks in. It just kicks in for several hours on end until late in until about 10 o'clock at night when it starts cooling down. So it really kicks. But 102 heat index, 105 in 105 in DC. Yep. I've been in that. I know exactly what that feels like. 105 in DC ain't no joke. 105 in DC is absolutely miserable. Yeah. Absolutely miserable. Because it's humid. 105 here is like, it's hot, for sure. It's hot. But it won't just like beat you over the head. Anyways. We got a lot to talk about. What are we talking about today? What are we talking about? What are we even talking about? Let's see. We're talking about Palm Springs hitting 124. Yeah, and I've been in New Orleans in August. I was in New Orleans right before Katrina hit, like the week before Katrina hit. I've been there several times in the summertime. Palm Springs hit 124. There were competing heat domes in the southeast and southwest. Boeing agreed to plead guilty to defrauding the FAA, but not to assassinating whistleblowers. Not to killing people with their faulty products. They just committed fraud. There's fires in California, of course. It's hot. Summer. It's the fire season. Denver sent me something on lithium-ion batteries being a source of forever chemicals, PFAS. PFAS. Yikes. Just when you thought renewable energy was going to be the best thing ever. Who knew? It's not. And we have been officially at 1.5C, which was the guardrail we should not pass. We've been at 1.5 for 12 straight months. What does that mean? Anyways, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about all these things on the Black Bear News. All right, let's get into the first things first. Yeah, I'm struggling today. By the way, I'm just letting you know. I'm struggling. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Not because of the heat necessarily, just I worked late and woke up early and didn't sleep in between going to bed late and waking up early. I didn't really sleep much in there. And it's hot, and so I am faded. I am faded today. Hopefully I'll get some rest tonight and bounce back tomorrow. Let's see. From National Weather Service San Diego, it's official. Palm Springs has hit 124 degrees today. This is a few days ago, by the way, breaking their all-time record high of 123 degrees. A few other locations also broke or tied their daily high temperatures. Complete lists can be found here. I believe that Las Vegas hit an all-time record too, didn't they? Let's see. Let's see. Oh my God. Hashtag COVID isn't over. These people just, I don't know. I feel like some people are into COVID like we're into climate change, right? Like some people really see it as like an apocalyptic kind of thing, and they're really into it, into cosplaying. You know, the end is nigh. Let's all put on our masks because COVID, the big bad COVID, is out there to get you. Don't you think? I mean, I guess people are still getting COVID, but is it a thing? Is it really a thing? I don't know. I know some people might get mad at me for actually asking that. And then there's the whole thing about having natural immunity versus being vaccinated. There's the thing that people were discussing for one time. At one time. Here we go. Las Vegas. Let's see. Where is Las Vegas? Apparently, Las Vegas reached an all-time record high temp of 120 degrees yesterday. Expect more excessive heat through this work week. $120 degrees. Yikes. Somebody posted that in 2017, East Las Vegas hit 122 degrees. I don't know. I don't know what makes it official. What's up, Twitter people? Twitter people, how are you? You know what to do. What's up, Rockfin people? What's going on? I see you. I see you hanging out. Thanks for hanging out. Bioweapons are usually dangerous. Usually, and then I don't know. Then they mutate into weaker strains, which I think is what happened. Or the weaker strain was released. I don't know. There are a lot of competing theories out there. So, I think Shawnee was talking about this the other day. Raleigh hitting 106 with a heat index of 118. Slap me into the ground. 118. Good advice, Gigabane. Like up that video. Like it early and like it often. Like it early, like it often, so more people can see the video. I challenge y'all to, everybody who's watching this video or who watches this video in the future tense, please like the video. All right. Rare event competing heat domes in the southeast and southwest U.S. crank out two huge all-time record highs. Palm Springs 124 and Raleigh-Durham 106 with a heat index of 118. Las Vegas is forecast to break their all-time high this weekend, and even Death Valley may come close. Heat domes. What's popping on your heat dome? Yeah, 118. Yeesh. Ain't nothing to mess with. Well, Raleigh, right? Raleigh is what? Close to D.C. And that's what it's like in D.C. In D.C., 105 in D.C. is like 120. The heat index is just like off the charts. I tried sleeping with no AC in DC when it was 105 or something like that, 110. It was ridiculous. Boeing. Let's look at the story about Boeing. Boeing. I really hate the way CNN has this website. It just really annoys me. Boeing has agreed to plead guilty to one charge of conspiracy. Not a theory, but a charge. Guilty. Conspiring. Guilty of a conspiracy. to defraud the United States for its role in 2 fatal 737 MAX crashes, the Justice Department said in a court filing Sunday evening. That's funny. I thought conspiracy theories were false. I thought they were only for crazy people, except when you plead guilty for conspiring to defraud the United States. Conspiring to put a faulty product out that ends up taking people out. You know, a lot of people might just call that negligence, but they call it a conspiracy, meaning there's forethought involved, meaning there's, there was a plan to not uphold safety standards, right? There you go. It represents yet another black eye for the company after a series of embarrassing safety blunders, but the agreement avoids what could have been more serious consequences, like what? What were the more serious consequences? I'd like to know. It will pay up to $487 million in fines. $487 million seems awful low, considering I bet that their profit margin is what, in the billions? Billions and billions every year. Old as Dirt asks, is spinning like LARPing here, LARPing there? No, spinning I think is like if somebody has an internal gyration, right? I think it's like you know what I'm saying? Like how maybe how fast your brain is that your synapses are firing off stuff. And some people just have a high spin. Gigabane says, I think Boeing deliberately siphoned health and safety cash from planes to make their space ambitions possible. Yeah, sure. Probably. And it is literally a money laundering. Everything is a money laundering scheme these days. Everything. Let's keep reading. The families of victims of 2 fatal crashes of the 736 MAX oppose the deal, the department said. The guilty plea is a severe blow to the reputation of Boeing, a company once known for quality and safety of its commercial planes. Beyond the fatal crashes of the 737 MAX jets, the company has faced a series of questions about the safety and quality of its planes. In January, a door plug on a 737 MAX flown by Alaska Airlines blew out early in a flight. Yikes. Where did the side of the plane go? That doesn't look right, leaving a gaping hole in the side of the jet and further damaging Boeing's reputation. The agreement stipulates that Boeing will have to operate under the oversight of an independent monitor, a person to be chosen by the government. Why not the people? Why not we, the people? Why do we not choose this independent monitor? I don't trust the government to choose the correct independent monitor. How about you? Anyways, they'll be operating under the oversight for a period of 3 years. But that oversight and the fine did not satisfy the families of victims, according to one of their attorneys. The sweetheart deal fails to recognize that because of Boeing's conspiracy. This sweetheart deal fails to recognize that. Because of Boeing's conspiracy, 346 people died, said a statement from Paul Cassell, a law professor at the University of Utah who represents many family members of the 2018 Lion air crash and 2019 Ethiopian air crash victims. This deceptive and generous deal is clearly not in the public interest, he added. The families are seeking a public trial on the charges. Justice Department defends deal. The Justice Department argues that the penalties Boeing agreed to were the most serious available. They stepped on up to the penalty smorgasbord, and they saw what was available, and these were the most serious in the penalty smorgasbord. No. Well, yeah, Gene, I mean, what I mean by money laundering is the actual cost of things are not represented in the money, the overhead, whatever it's projected. There's a lot of skim is what I'm trying to say. A lot of skimming. Scamming and skimming. Also, the CEOs of all these companies make fantastic amounts of money while they are trying to pay the workers, peanuts, as little as possible, the bare minimum. Right? How does that even make sense? How is that even a business model? I don't get it. You're making airplanes, for Christ's sake. So they were the most serious charges available. It argued it won other improvements as well, including the oversight of a monitor and the demand that Boeing spend more on safety and compliance of rules when building aircraft. I mean, sure, that's novel. This resolution protects the American public, said the DOJ statement. Boeing will be required to make historic investments to strengthen and integrate its compliance and safety. Historic. This criminal conviction demonstrates the department's commitment to holding Boeing accountable for its misconduct. All right. Well, we'll see, I guess. The statement also raised the possibility of more legal problems ahead for Boeing and its executives. It said that while no individuals face criminal charges as a result of this agreement, why not? Why not? DOJ is resolving only with the company and providing no immunity to any individual employees, including corporate executives, for any conduct. Oh, well. DOJ is resolving with Boeing only for misconduct that predates the 737 MAX crashes and not providing immunity for any other corporate conduct, including the Alaskan Airlines 1282 incident, it added. While no one was severely injured on that flight, CNN has confirmed that passengers and crew on the flight have received notice that they might be considered victims of a crime. But family members of victims from the two fatal plane crashes blasted the plea agreement early Monday. Miscarriage of justice is a gross understatement in describing this, said a statement from Zipporah Curia of England, who lost her father Joseph in the Ethiopian Airlines crash. It is an atrocious abomination. I hope that, God forbid, if this happens again, the DOJ is reminded that it had the opportunity to do something meaningful, instead chose not to. Without full transparency and accountability, nothing will change, said a statement from California resident Ike Riffle, who lost his two sons, Melvin and Bennett, in the crash. With this deal, there will be no investigation. There will be no expert witness testimony. There will be no perpetrators of these crimes to answer the charges in court. The penalties and conditions imposed on Boeing as a result of this plea deal are not substantively, that's what that word is, different than those that failed to change Boeing's safety culture and that resulted in the Alaska Air door blowout, said aerospace engineer Javier De Luis, who lost his sister Gracilia in the second crash. When the next crash happens, every DOJ official that signed off on this deal will be responsible as the Boeing executives that refused to put safety ahead of profits. Boeing issued a brief statement saying that it can confirm that we have reached an agreement in principle on terms of a resolution with the Justice Department, subject to approval of specific terms. Boeing investors appeared pleased by the terms of the deal. Shares of Boeing, a component of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, were up 3% in morning trading. All right. Boeing's on the way up after this deal. According to the charges, the company defrauded the Federal Aviation Administration during the process of certifying the 737 MAX to carry its first passengers. The plane started service in 2017, but the two fatal crashes led to a 20-month grounding of the jets during the Trump administration, right? Investigation revealed a design flaw in its autopilot system. Boeing has admitted responsibility for the fatal crashes and that its employers withheld information about the design flaw from the FAA during certification. In January 2021, the federal prosecutors and Boeing reached an agreement to settle criminal charges and defer any prosecution on the matter. During a 3-year probationary period that followed, Boeing agreed to improve its quality issues and transparency with the government, but the Alaska Airlines incident came just days before that probationary period was due to end, which led to a series of federal investigations into its practices. In May, the DOJ said it was looking into bringing criminal charges against Boeing once again due to a potential violation of that January 2021 agreement. Boeing had argued in its own court filings that it did not violate the agreement and that it should be spared prosecution. Let's say what? Sunday night's guilty plea, which came just before a midnight deadline set by the Justice Department, settled that issue. What about the whistleblower's man? Is anybody investigating the deaths of the whistleblowers? Is Boeing or anybody connected to Boeing going to be investigated, charged, held, held in confinement for their obvious involvement in this? Sure, obsolete optics. If corporations are people, then they should also face the same consequences as people. That makes sense. Too much sense. So this is basically a slap on the wrist, of course. And are they going to change their ways? Is this really going to? I mean, I guess they're operating under a monitor for the time being. So we'll see. But it is not substantial enough, of course. And I think that at least one of the whistleblowers seems so incredibly obvious that there seems to be some some underhanded things going on there, right? Seems like there's some foul play there. I would think that there would be some kind of investigation going on with that, but do you think anybody will face criminal charges or some liability in regards to that, to John Barnett's death? I don't know. Probably not. Um, let's see. Gabain says the avoidance of personal liability for directors is meant to be about business finance and should protect no one from criminal choices. Well, yeah. Right. And, regular people like you and I, if we did something that resulted in a negligent death or harm to somebody, would probably, face the full extent of the law. Or even if we didn't, even if we said something on the internet that might, instigate something or might imply that we are on the wrong side of what the people in charge want everybody to think. Well, we might face consequences for that. But people out here just negligently murdering people, no, they're fine. They're okay. Let's see. This is from Hayden Clarin. America is so car-brained we can't even enjoy the beach without them. Yeah, this is ridiculous. I mean, this is obviously like a 4x4 rally because everybody's on the sand. I got my 4x4 so I can drive on the sand like an American. Speaking of big trucks, and I know some of y'all have big trucks, so I'm not trying to offend anybody. But there's just too much big trucking going on. And this guy's big truck didn't save him from shit. So probably this dude's big truck made him think, I got this. Which makes me laugh. Happening now, dangerous situation near the Astrodome. A man is trapped in his car surrounded by floodwaters on Highway 288 southbound at the 610 South Loop. I mean, I hope he got out of there. I do. But that looks like one of them classic big-ass white trucks that everybody drives in Texas. Like everybody drives in Texas. White truck? Sure. Hopefully you made it out. Let's see. Been several fires going on in California around the heat. It is the season, 'tis the season. As crews work to contain big California fire, another ignites near Yosemite. The French fire near Mariposa is one of 23 blazes that have broken out statewide this week and amid a scorching heat wave. French fire started Thursday evening at French Camp Road in Mariposa County after a heat wave brought days of scorching temperatures. As of 1:14 p.m. local Friday, the fire had spread to 843 acres and was 15% contained. Some of the 1,100 residents forced to evacuate were allowed to return. And Governor Gavin Newsom secured a grant from FEMA, making it the second infusion of funds California has received this week to fight wildfires. French fire is the latest blaze to ignite in California amid a particularly dangerous fire season. Just this week, 23 fires have broken out across the state, causing some towns to cancel 4th of July fireworks. Most of the active fires are at least 50% contained, with no fatalities reported. Let's see. This is in Nepal. Getting whacked by the weather gods. Ooh-wee, the heat has suddenly struck me. People swept away by raging floodwaters. At least 62 people were killed in flooding in Tanahun, Gandaki Province, Nepal. Temperatures are above the pre-industrial era average. 1.5 C above average for 12 months. Sorry, my computer is slowing down. Let's look at this. From The Guardian, temperatures 1.5 C above pre-industrial era average for 12 months, data shows. Well, there you go. Guardrail breached, I guess. The world is baked for 12 consecutive months in temperatures 1.5 C greater than their average before the fossil fuel era, new data shows. Temperatures between July 2023 and June 2024 were the highest on record. Scientists found creating a year-long stretch in which the Earth was 1.64 C hotter than pre-industrial time. So not just at 1.5 C, but above for an entire 12 months. I think we have crashed through, said Guardrail. The findings do not mean world leaders have already failed to honor their promises, except they have. Except that is over. I don't. You guys want to keep on, spinning up the whatever, the hope machine, I guess. Oh, but it's worked fine. We still do what? Still do what? Still do what? The analogy of the house burning to the ground. You're not going to, it's already burnt to the ground. It's already done. You're not going to, what are you going to do? You're not going to go back in time. Like these people are delusional. Jay Moniker says, still a chance to stay under the 5C guardrail. Well below 5C. The findings do not mean, blah, blah, blah. Stop the planet heating. Wait, hold on. Hold on. This is. Hold on. Somewhere up here. I gotta read this sentence again. Here we go. Let's cue it up. Okay. The sentence is, the findings do not mean that world leaders have already failed to honor their promises to stop the planet heating 1.5 C by the end of the century. But we have already heated it now a quarter of the way into the century. But these findings don't mean that they have failed. So, okay. By the the absurdity, is anybody just floored by the absurdity of that sentence? I almost want to read it again because it's like, I don't know what that means. What are they saying? It doesn't mean that they have failed to keep temperatures from hitting 1.5 C by the end of the century. It means they have failed a quarter of the way into the century. That's what it means. What? A sustained rise in temperatures above this level also increases the risk of uncertain but catastrophic tipping points. Carlo Buontempo, director of the Copernicus Climate Change Service, which analyzed the data, said the results were not a statistical oddity, but a large and continuing shift in the climate. Even if this specific streak of extremes ends at some point, we are bound to see new records being broken as the climate continues to warm. This is inevitable unless we stop adding greenhouse gases in the atmosphere and the oceans. 30 years ago. 50, 100, many years ago. Copernicus, a scientific organization that belongs to the EU space program, uses billions of measurements from satellites, ships, aircraft, and weather stations to track key climate metrics. I found June 2024 was hotter than any other June on record and was the 12th month in a row with temperatures 1.5 C or greater than the average between 1850 and 1900. But I hope that we can keep it down below 1.5 by the end of the century. Blink, blink. And that's science. And that is science. I don't know if I can read anymore. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop reading this because it is stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. But it's in the Guardian, so I guess people are going to read it and go, and people are going to make sense of that? How are people going to read that and go like, oh, sure, that makes sense? What? So, hello? Yeah. Okay, so guys, if you like this show, if you like watching this show, if you enjoy watching this show, if you like getting this show for free 99 every single day, Monday through Friday, sometimes on Saturday and sometimes on Sunday. If you're picking up what I'm putting down and you're enjoying it all and you are wondering how to support the show, well, let me tell you, the really great way to support the show is to go find one of the links, especially the direct donate links below. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, Coffee, something like that. And if you would kindly make a donation, that would be really great. That would really help the show continue to grow and keep going. And to the people that already do that, I thank you. My brain was still spinning last night. Yeah, it definitely was. Spinning all the time. Okay. Let's see, we're getting into the home stretch here, and I am absolutely melted, so some of these things I'm going to have to leave for tomorrow, I think. It was worth hearing the article. Okay, that's good. Good. I don't, sure. I can, and I hesitate to read more of that article because at some point the things are just not lining up and making any sense, and I'm just going to get angrier and I'm going to have a lot of spin going on, and that is just not going to be helpful for anybody. All right, let's look at this from Denver. Attaway sent me this. Lithium-ion batteries, a growing source of PFAS pollution. Texas Tech University's Jennifer Guelfo was part of a research team that found the use of a novel subclass of per and polyfluoroalkyl PFAS and lithium-ion batteries is a growing source of pollution in air and water. The findings were published in a study in Nature Communications Today. Testing by the research team further found that these PFAS, called perfluoroalkyl sulfonamides, demonstrate environmental persistence and ecotoxicity comparable to older notorious compounds like perfluorooctanoic acid. Perfluorooctanoic acid. Okay. Lithium-ion batteries are a key part of the growing clean energy infrastructure, with uses in electric cars and electronics, and demand is anticipated to grow exponentially over the next decade. Great. Our results reveal a dilemma associated with manufacturing, disposal, and recycling of clean energy infrastructure, said. There's always a catch, isn't there? This is going to be perfect. This is the oh my God. Guys, can you hear me? Can y'all hear me? If you can hear me, just someone let me know. I think you can. My StreamYard is telling me that I'm disconnected, but I don't believe. Okay, good. I don't believe StreamYard. StreamYard's just trying to ruin it for everyone. Okay. Yeah, this new technology is going to be great, except for the side effects of this new technology, which is going to be kind of like the side effects of the old technology, which is we don't know what they are yet until we've flooded the market with this new technology, and then we're going to go, uh-oh. Sound like a familiar story? It's because it is. It don't change. Remember the 7 generation part of the book I was reading yesterday? 7 generations. Indigenous American tribes also had something of the same philosophy as far as acting, doing things with the knowledge of several generations to come, right? What is what we're about to do, are our actions how are they going to affect generations to come? Not like, I can make a lot of money in the next couple of years if I just sell all this stuff. They didn't think like that. But we do. Oh, but we poison everybody. Oh, darn. But this private jet is awful nice. I sure love my second yacht. It's too bad about those kids in the Congo. Dang. All right. Our results reveal a dilemma associated with manufacturing, disposal, and recycling of clean energy infrastructure, said Guelfo, an associate professor of environmental engineering in the Edward E. Whitaker Jr. College of Engineering. Slashing carbon dioxide emissions with innovations like electric cars is critical, but it shouldn't come with the side effect of increasing PFAS pollution. We need to facilitate technologies, manufacturing controls, and recycling solutions that can fight the climate crisis without releasing highly recalcitrant pollutions. Or recalcitrant, however you want to say it. I'll say it again, highly recalcitrant pollutants. The researchers sampled air, water, snow, soil, and sediment near manufacturing plants in Minnesota, Kentucky, Belgium, and France. The bisphosphate concentrations in these samples were commonly at very high levels. Data also suggested air emissions of the bisphosphonates may facilitate long-range transport, meaning areas far from the manufacturing sites may be affected as well. You mean it flows on downstream? That's what they mean. An analysis of several municipal landfills in the southern U.S. indicated these compounds can also enter the environment through disposal of products, including lithium-ion batteries. It's a damn shame. Toxicity testing demonstrated concentrations of bisphosphonates similar to those found at the sampling sites can change behavior and fundamental energy metabolic processes of aquatic organisms. Bisphosphonates toxicity has not yet been studied in humans. We just don't have the grant yet to study it in humans. We just didn't get around to it. Darn. Maybe we should. Has not been yet studied in humans, though other more well-studied PFAS are linked to cancer, infertility, and other serious health harms. Treatability testing showed bisphosphonates did not break down during oxidation, which also has been observed for other PFAS. However, data showed concentrations of bisphosphonates in water can be reduced using granular activated carbon and ion exchange, methods already used to remove PFAS from drinking water. These results illustrate that treatment approaches designed for PFOA and PFOS, perfluorooctane sulfonic acid, can also remove bisphosphonates, said study author Lee Ferguson, associate professor of environmental engineering at Duke University. Use of these approaches is likely to increase as treatment facilities are upgraded to comply with newly enacted EPA maximum contaminant levels for PFAS, which they just started regulating just now, 40 years after they knew this was dangerous. They were like, you know what? I got an idea. Maybe we should regulate some PFAS. 40 years after, they realized this stuff is just everywhere, and it's horribly, horribly toxic. But 40 years later, the EPA was like, you know what? You know what we should do? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyways, Guelpho and Ferguson emphasized this is a pivotal time for adoption of clean energy technologies, or not. I mean, pivotal as in not, you mean pivotal time to not adopt clean energy technologies, or the ones that actually work, or the ones that are actually clean, or the ones that are not technologies, or new technologies, but old technologies? You mean the ones that, like, time-honored technologies? Like, you know, ditching the use of new technologies and using, like, old-fashioned technologies that don't, like, use lithium batteries or burn carbon or use plastics, or, you know? Is that what you mean by pivotal time? It's probably not what they mean. That's probably not it. We should harness the expertise of multidisciplinary teams of scientists, engineers, sociologists, and policymakers to develop and promote use of clean energy infrastructure while minimizing the environmental footprint. Well, you don't need scientists, engineers, sociologists, and policymakers. What you need is farmers, rural doctors, mechanics, homemakers, bakers. You need just people that do like things in the old-fashioned way to just go back to doing things in the old-fashioned way. That's what you need. Probably not going to happen very farmers. Exactly, Jazz Farm. We should use the momentum behind current energy initiatives to ensure that new energy technologies are truly clean. Sure, Guelpho. Sure. Whatever you say, Guelpho. Weavers, that's right. We need vibranium. Herbalists, yes. That's exactly what I was going for, Jazz Farm. I was trying to get all those folks, right? Natural doctors, natural medicine practitioners, herbalists, weavers, farmers. People that drive, what are they called? People that drive horses, liveries, I think they're called. Rickshaw operators. Like all, we need, yeah. Bike repair people. I'm a big fan of bikes. I think bikes are cool. Bikes are a relatively old technology, but they're, you don't need to make any more bicycles. There are enough bicycles for every 8 billion humanoids out there on the planet. You don't need any more bicycles. There are enough bicycles. You can scrap up 8 billion bicycles for everybody to have. Here's a bike. Here you go. Just give everybody a bike. All right. Yeah, we're gonna dead your car out now. Click, click. All right. Have fun. Have fun out there. Be safe. You were making Monterey cheese? Jeez. Jazz Farm. Clydesdales. Budweiser beer way. I want to make some Monterey Jack cheese for crying out loud. All right, guys. It's been real. Let me see if I have anybody to thank. On this fine and glorious day. Don't think so. I didn't see any chats from the Twitter watchers, but that's fine. That's fine. Let's see. I'm moving slow, y'all. Okay. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow at the regular time of 4 p.m. Pacific. And thank you all for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. And especially, thank you for the conversation. And until next time, peace.